The finale for WandaVision is here. Since this is the most different thing Marvel has ever made, I was very excited to check it out, so let's talk about it. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Arjun and I'm a huge fan of the MCU. WandaVision was something I was really excited about since they announced. So I was really excited for the finale as well because I felt like the show, even though it's very weird and wacky, I still really liked it overall. So I was very excited to go into the finale and I was expecting it to probably be one of the best episodes of the series. So let's get started talking about my general thoughts. Alright, so going into this, I saw this episode 2 times, and both the times I had very different opinions. The first time I saw it, I was utterly disappointed. I didn't like the Ralph reveal, I didn't understand why the action scenes were there. I thought the emotional moments were just forced, and I didn't know how it led up into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So I was very confused, and I was not given a satisfying conclusion to the series. The second time, I put all of my expectations aside. I didn't want Doctor Strange to show up. I didn't want a huge cameo. I didn't want a huge reveal. So I just went in without any expectations. I just took in what they gave me. I just wanted a conclusion for this series, and I wasn't looking for any big setup moments. So that time I very much enjoyed the episode. I thought some of the action scenes were really good. The visual effects for a TV show budget were really good. And I thought the emotional moments really hit me hard. So obviously, I really liked the episode the second time a lot more than I did the first time. And I was able to understand what they were trying to do. They weren't setting up something huge. They were just providing a good conclusion for this series. And I feel like this episode did a fantastic job of doing that. I was kind of frustrated with some of the things. So let's go into my spoiler review because I can't talk about that here. This episode starts off right where the last one left off. We have Agatha, she's holding the kids, and we have Wanda on the other side. So they have a short conversation, and Wanda says, I have my powers here, just leave the kids. And the kids try to run, but Agatha pulls them back, and Wanda uses her powers. She shoots Agatha, and she falls down, and the kids run, and they go inside their room. Now, Agatha tells Wanda that she will let Vision and her kids be alive and let the people of S2 be free at the same time, but Wanda doesn't believe her, so she just doesn't listen to her. And she does her car thing where she just distracts her and hits her with the car. So this happened in Civil War, and yeah, I like that reference back to Civil War there. And then White Vision shows up, and Wanda goes up to her, and she thinks it's the real Vision, even though it's a different color, which probably she shouldn't think that. She goes up to him, and he grabs her face and just starts crushing it. That was a pretty dark scene. I didn't expect that to happen. He just starts crushing it, and we were like 5 seconds away from an R-rated movie or a TVMA show. After that, Scarlet Vision shows up. I'm gonna call him Scarlet Vision because I don't want to get confused between both of those. So Scarlet Vision shows up and starts fighting White Vision, and they have this really cool fight. It reminded me of Man of Steel because both of them have lasers and they have super strength. But eventually they just go into this really cool fight where, because both of them have phasing abilities, they get very creative with it, and I really enjoyed that. And Agatha takes on Wanda. They're fighting. So they go to the people, and Agatha frees them, and they come up to Wanda and they tell her to like let their kids go, free their kids. I haven't seen my kids in a long time. Let them out of their rooms. And there's just this really creepy scene, and it really shows what Wanda's actually been doing to all of these people. And I really like that they included that here. And Agatha, she reads the book of Darkhold, and she tells Wanda, there's a whole chapter dedicated to you about it. And she also says that Wanda is stronger than the Sorcerer Supreme because she's the Scarlet Witch. So like, they start talking about that, and because Wanda learns that they're not free, because Wanda all this time thinks that the other people, they're happy, but they actually aren't. So she opens the hex, and the people start leaving. And the Vision is fighting White Vision while this is happening. And in the outside world, we have Jimmy Woo and Hayward. So Jimmy Woo is in handcuffs. So we have this nice little conversation between them where Jimmy Woo tells him that he's gonna go to jail, and he called the FBI. So they just take him and put him in this place. I don't know where they put him. Jimmy stole a phone, so he calls the FBI and tells them to come to capture Hayward. Because the hex is open, Hayward decides they're gonna go inside with a bunch of sword agents. So they go in, and inside, Scarlet Vision is fighting White Vision, so they have this really cool battle, the phasing abilities and all of that. It starts disintegrating. Scarlet Vision starts disintegrating, and the kids start disintegrating because they can't live outside of the hex because they're not real people. And we cut to Monica in between while all this is happening, and Monica is with Peter, or Pietro, or Fietro, because he's not really him. And we learn his name. His name is Ralph, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. And that makes him Agatha's fake husband. So I didn't like this reveal at all. They took a fan favorite character, a fan favorite actor from another franchise which exists sort of in the same multiverse, and they just placed him in the show. That leads us to believe that it's going to be Quicksilver, but it ended up just being some random guy. I didn't like that. It was a bad reveal. I really wish they didn't do that, because that's just like doing the Mandarin from Iron Man 3 all over again. It was not good. So Wanda again starts closing the hex because she doesn't want her family to fade away. And they have this nice little family moment where they look like the Incredibles. And then Vision goes to fight White Vision inside the library. That's kind of cool because Vision has always been a peaceful character, and fighting inside a library, it's just really cool to see. And they start talking about the ship of Theseus, and they have a conversation. White Vision says that his mission is to destroy Vision, and Scarlet Vision says he's not really the Vision. White Vision says, I require elaboration. So they start talking about the ship of Theseus. It's kind of funny just watching them two talking peacefully, because we would expect a huge fight between them, but the fight's over. And I thought that was like a nice little dynamic going on in this episode. It was one of the best things in the episode, in my opinion. And while all this is happening, the kids are handling the military and the sword officer. So they're handling them pretty well. And suddenly Hayward shows up, and he starts shooting the kids. Now, Hayward has always been the character in this show that I don't hate as much as I'm probably supposed to hate him. But like this episode, I just didn't like him. He just didn't feel like a logical continuation from the rest of the episode. He always felt like he had a reasonable reason for what he was doing. He was trying to kill Wanda because she's holding a bunch of people hostage. And here, he just starts shooting the kids for what reason? They're just kids. Like, it just doesn't make any sense why he would do that. And I wasn't a fan of the fact that they actually decided to go that route with his character. So anyway, he's shooting them, and Monica shows up, and she does something with her powers, and she slows down the bullets. And that was a visually really cool scene. I enjoyed it. And she misses one of the bullets, and Billy, the guy with the telekinesis abilities, he just stops the bullet and throws it on the ground. And they complement each other's powers, which was pretty cool. And while Agatha's and Wanda's fight is happening, Wanda's crown, Wanda's Scarlet Witch crown starts showing up out of nowhere for some reason. And she does this thing that she did in Age of Ultron takes Agatha into a nightmare, but eventually it turns into Wanda's nightmare because she's captured, and Agatha says she will help her perfect her spell and find a way to let the city of Westview and her family live at the same time. So Wanda, she gets kind of tempted, and she uses her powers and starts just shooting her energy at Agatha. And there's this huge CGI mess, huge CGI battle, and like she just starts shooting her. Eventually, all her power is over. So throughout the episode, Wanda's hands just start turning black as she's losing power. And here, like, she completely turns pale, and like her face, all of it. I didn't know what that meant. Was she dead or what's happening? Agatha, she absorbed everything from Wanda. She absorbed all her power. So she tries to shoot her power, but it doesn't work. So I didn't understand what was going on, and we see that Wanda missed a lot of times when she was shooting her energy, and she actually created the runes that we saw in the last episode. So that was kind of quick for Wanda to learn how to make runes so fast, but it was a cool scene, so I didn't care. And then we had this huge Dark Phoenix moment where Wanda just starts absorbing all the power from Agatha, and she starts getting her costume. And I just want to say, Wanda's costume looked very good in this episode. I thought it was really reminiscent of Magneto from the X-Men universe, but it also visually looked really cool. And to be honest, I'd say it's one of the best costumes in the MCU to date. And after that, she was on the ground with Agatha, and she turns her into Agnes again, and she traps her like that. But she eventually closes the hex, so I don't know exactly what that was supposed to mean. But anyway, so she goes into their house with her family, and this is a really heartbreaking moment. She says goodbye to the kids in Vision. So she says, "Thank you for choosing me to be your mom." And I thought that was a really heartbreaking scene. And go outside of the kids' room. Vision and Wanda have this nice little moment and this nice little conversation.
I've said goodbye before, so it stands to reason.
We'll say hello again.
And right there, I started tearing up. It was very, very emotionally, very satisfying, and it just made a lot of sense why they would go this route. And I just want to put this in here. This was the first time I teared up during a TV show since Stranger Things Season 3. So I just loved what they did here. And it was emotionally a very satisfying ending. And I thought they did a good job of providing that conclusion here. So the hex closes in, and Vision starts fading away, and the house goes away, the kids go away, and Wanda eventually walks out of the plot of land, and everyone's just looking at her like they hate her. Makes a lot of sense. In a lot of ways, she's the villain of the show, and I am anticipating her to be the villain in Doctor Strange 2. Monica says they'll never know what you sacrificed for them. And Wanda says that wouldn't change how they see me. Makes a lot of sense. She did just torture them and didn't let them see their kids. So, yeah, of course. Why would that not happen? So, the cops show up, they arrest Hayward, and Wanda just goes away. She leaves. And she takes one look back at Westview, her home, and yeah, she goes away. And the episode ends, but we do have two post-credit scenes. The first one is setting up, I believe, Secret Invasion or Captain Marvel. So Monica Rambeau, she's in a theater, and I just want to say, I miss theaters. I hope I can go to a theater sometime soon. Yeah, let's hope. Alright, anyway, a Skrull shows up and says, he's waiting for you, and we need your help. So I'm guessing, because it's a Skrull, it has to be either Captain Marvel 2 or Secret Invasion. we'll not know until we see one of those two projects. And then in our second post-credit scene, or post-credit scene, because the first one is the mid-credit scene, I guess. So here we have this beautiful location where we're just going inside, and there's a house there, and Wanda is sitting outside drinking something. She goes inside, and we're still going through the house, and we go into a room, and we see the Scarlet Witch reading the most evil book of all time, The Darkhold. And then we hear Tommy and Billy, hear them scream, and yeah, the thing ends. So I'm guessing that Wanda's trying to bring her kids back. This is how this leads into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I also think Wanda may end up being the villain. Who knows? Maybe. So overall, I very, very much enjoyed this episode. I feel like it gave a satisfying conclusion to this series overall, and I did have a problem with the whole Ralph reveal, and I did feel like the ending felt a bit rushed because there was a lot of things they needed to conclude. But for the most part, I really enjoyed this episode, and I felt like it gave a satisfying conclusion to this series. It did give us some pieces and bits leading up to Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness and Secret Invasion or Captain Marvel 2. So, yeah, I thought this episode was really good. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Be sure to tell me down below in the comments what you thought of this episode. And if you enjoyed my review, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. Subscribe to my channel if you want to, and I'll see you next time. Bye.